Manchester United's last Premier League title was so long ago. Alfredo Di Stefano was still around, and the last time they won the Champions League,
saved by Van der Sar, it's all over. United win it.
Messi and Ronaldo hadn't even sniffed a Ballon d'Or yet. Oh, and when they actually won both in a season,
The three trophies were together for the first time in history.
Man City was still stuck in the second division playoffs, 6 years before Kobe Mainoo was even born. But hold up, who was the mastermind behind all these trophies? Sir Alex Ferguson. That guy turned a struggling, outdated Manchester United, one that was just hanging on to old glory, into a treble-winning beast. So how exactly did Sir Alex take a team on the decline and make them dominate Europe? Let's dive in. Back in 1986, Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't the legend we know today. He actually met with Manchester United officials at a random motorway service station, of all places, to agree to take over the job. Wild, right? So here's the deal. Sir Alex wasn't walking into a Manchester United squad that was a global powerhouse. Nah, this was a team on the decline. They hadn't won a league title in almost 20 years, and Old Trafford, it was kinda stuck in neutral. Ferguson was only 44 at the time, but his fiery attitude and unbelievable self-belief made him the perfect guy to light a fire under this team. Ferguson had already shocked the football world by breaking up the old firm dominance in Scotland and Aberdeen, and his attacking style of play was exactly what United needed. This was a manager that knew how to win, and he was ready to bring that winning mentality to Manchester. Now, the start wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. His first few years were brutal. The club was even flirting with relegation. But Ferguson didn't back down. He kept rebuilding, kept pushing, and in 1990, that FA Cup win, that was the moment everything changed. It wasn't just a trophy. It was the spark that lit the fire for everything that was to come. And trust me, it was only the beginning. Ferguson's first FA Cup win with United in 1990, after a replay against Crystal Palace, might have seemed like just another cup in the cabinet at the time. It felt like a one-off, maybe even a lifeline that saved his job after a rough season in the league. But little did anyone know, Lee Martin's goal would light the fuse for a massive explosion of success that United was about to experience. Winning that FA Cup didn't just give United another trophy. It changed everything. It marked their return to European competition after a 5-year ban due to the Heysel disaster. And they came back with a bang. In 1991, United went all the way to the European Cup Winners' Cup final in Rotterdam, where they faced Barcelona. Who stepped up? None other than United striker Mark Hughes, who bagged 2 goals to secure a 2-1 win, 23 years after their last European trophy. Now, the league title was still that big, elusive prize. In 1992, it looked like United might finally grab it. They already picked up the League Cup, and they were in a tight race with Leeds. But United's hopes were dashed by Liverpool, who beat them 2-0 at Anfield, and effectively ended their title chase. It was a tough pill to swallow, especially because Leeds, who took the title that year, weren't exactly a footballing powerhouse. Ferguson's secret sauce? Youth development. While other clubs were splashing cash on big-name players, Ferguson was busy building a homegrown dynasty. Enter the iconic class of '92, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, and Nicky Butt. These guys weren't just players, they were the foundation of United's dominance in the 90s and early 2000s. Ferguson trusted these young guns, and man did they deliver. They didn't just play for United, they became United, leading the club to some of the most successful years ever. It wasn't just about winning now, it was about building a team for the future. And Ferguson nailed it. By blending these young talents with seasoned pros, he created a winning formula that kept United at the top for years to come. But hold on. Remember that magic Ferguson had in his pocket? Enter Eric Cantona. Leeds made the dumbest move ever in December 1992 by selling their star player to United. Cantona's arrival was the final piece of the puzzle. He brought that flair and swagger United had been missing for years, and he helped guide the team to their first league title in 26 years. Ferguson had officially kicked off his reign of dominance.
But I knew it was going to be something special, and I think it was that.
Then came the 1993-94 season. This is where United hit their stride. A historic league and FA Cup double was secured, with Cantona pulling all the strings. And let's not forget Peter Schmeichel, who might just be the best keeper to ever play in the Premier League. But even the best teams hit bumps along the way. In 1995, Cantona's infamous kick at a Crystal Palace fan put him out for 8 months. That absence would be the reason United lost their grip on the double. They lost the title to Blackburn Rovers by just 1 point, and then dropped the FA Cup final to Everton. But hey, injuries were a part of it. Captain Steve Bruce was hurt, and Ryan Giggs wasn't fully fit either. But Ferguson, he wasn't done yet. In the 1995-96 season, United were back in the FA Cup final, this time against Liverpool. It was a tight match, but then in the 86th minute, Cantona did what he does best. Scored a sublime goal to give United their first ever double-double. That goal was the ultimate moment of magic, and it cemented Cantona's legendary status at Old Trafford. Even after Cantona retired in 1997, United weren't slowing down. Ferguson kept building. They clinched their 4th league title of the decade in 1997.
When we had our strongest team, no one was touching us.
And though they fell short in 1998, that didn't stop them. Ryan Giggs, a legend in his own right, showed just how much influence he could have on a game in the 1999 FA Cup semi-final replay. The goal he scored in the match? Pure magic. A solo run from his own half, leaving Arsenal's defenders looking like they were chasing shadows, and finishing it off with style. That goal didn't just seal United's place in their 5th FA Cup final of the decade, it was a reminder of just how dangerous Giggs could be on his day. In that final against Newcastle United, Ferguson's men didn't mess around, securing a 2-0 win with goals from Paul Scholes and Teddy Sheringham. That victory marked United's 3rd double in just a few years. 6 days after they had clinched the Premier League title thanks to Andy Cole's goal against Tottenham at Old Trafford. But hold up, this was just the beginning of one of the greatest seasons in football history. In the Champions League, United found themselves in a brutal group of death with Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Brøndby. But United finished 2nd in the group behind Bayern after 2 hard-fought draws against the Germans. The knockout round saw them face Juventus and Inter Milan, 2 of Europe's top teams. United prevailed with an unforgettable 3-2 aggregate victory over Juventus in the semi-finals, where Roy Keane delivered a performance of a lifetime, driving the team forward despite a yellow card suspension that would keep him out of the final. The 1999 Champions League final against Bayern Munich in Barcelona would go down in history as one of the greatest comebacks in football. Bayern, like United, had been chasing a treble of their own, but they were missing key players like Vicente Lizarazu and Giovanni Elber. United, on the other hand, had to cope without the suspended Keane and Paul Scholes. In what seemed like a cruel twist of fate, it looked like Bayern's dominance would be rewarded when they took the lead early. Mario Basler's free kick in the 6th minute put Bayern ahead, and the Germans controlled the game for much of the first half. United struggled to find a rhythm. Ferguson's team was on the ropes, with Bayern looking like they would claim the victory that would seal their treble. But Ferguson, the master of mind games and tactical adjustments, never lost hope. Ferguson's ability to motivate his team at the right moments was key to their success. And this time was no different. His halftime speech must have been a masterpiece, because when they came out in the second half, they had a whole new energy. But time was ticking and nothing was going their way. Then, right at the 90th minute, something crazy happens. United gets a corner, and Teddy Sheringham, who's not even been on the pitch that long, finds himself in the right place at the right time. He puts the ball in the back of the net, and it's 1-1. Bayern was shaken, and now we were in injury time. And here comes the best part, another corner, this time from David Beckham. The ball swings in, and out of nowhere, Ole Gunnar Solskjær gets his head on it and scores the most iconic goal of his career. 2-1 to United, in injury time. Bayern's players were in shock. It's the kind of moment that makes you believe in football's magical side. So there it was, a 2-1 comeback victory. United had pulled off one of the most dramatic finishes in Champions League history. This wasn't just about winning a trophy, though. This was about proving that United were a global force in football. They'd gone from being almost there to being on top of Europe, and they'd done it in the most unbelievable way possible. And that's how Manchester United completed the treble in 1999, forever cementing their place in football lore. But wait, there's more. The treble became a quadruple later that year when United traveled to Tokyo to compete for the Intercontinental Cup. With Keane scoring the winning goal against Palmeiras, United were crowned the World Club Champions, solidifying their place as the best club in the world at the end of the millennium. What a season, right? United were officially on top of the footballing world, and Ferguson had masterminded one of the greatest achievements in the sport's history. And now Ruben Amorim is in charge. What do you think? Does he have what it takes to repeat the magic he's already shown with Sporting and his tactics? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts on whether he can keep pushing boundaries in football. If you want to dive deeper into Amorim's crazy tactics and how he's revolutionizing football, make sure to check out our video on his unique game plan. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more awesome football content, and ring the bell so you never miss out on any new videos. Catch you in the next one. Peace.